and how to kill them, design tips for actually living in your living room, and the veggie that will keep your pet happy and healthy.
Welcome to Life Love Shopping. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Michelle Yarn. It's going to be a fun show today.
Yes.
We're taking some of our favorite tips and tricks and guests and putting them all together to help you focus on your home and your life.
Yeah. Okay, so get ready. Here we go. You ready to get started?
Let's do this.
Get ready to add a couple of hours to your day. All you need to do is adjust your body's alarm clock and become an early riser. Here's how. No caffeine late in the afternoon. Drinking a cup of Joe 6 hours before bedtime is the same as drinking it 3 hours in advance of hitting the hay. You should mentally prep for your sleep, make your tomorrow morning decisions like what to eat for breakfast before you go to bed, so you only need to focus on waking up. And wake up to light. Sleep with the curtains open. Sunlight cues your body's internal alarm clock to wake up. Finally, keep your alarm in check. Avoid hitting that snooze button and choose a good alarm tone so you're not irritated the moment the ringer goes off.
Good tip. Also, we're all looking for ways to save time and money, and thinking twice about your commute might give you some new ideas, especially after you hear these numbers. According to the Texas Transportation Institute, each hour stuck in traffic costs about 21 bucks in wasted time and gas. We also waste 1.9 billion gallons of fuel thanks to being stuck in that bumper-to-bumper traffic. And the average annual cost of sitting in traffic is more than $700. That's more than 1 week's pay for most Americans. And one more note, the average commuter spends 34 hours stuck in traffic every year. Just think about what you could do with all that time.
When was the last time you cleaned out your kitchen? Come on, be honest. If you can't remember, that could be harming your health, believe it or not. Cindy Piccoli is a holistic nutritionist, and she's showing us what to toss and when. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, there's dangers lurking in our kitchen.
Your kitchen might be killing you.
Yes, absolutely. Canned food, well, they're lined with BPA, and it's epoxy plastic linked to breast cancer, early puberty in young girls, and brain tumors. Not good.
Okay.
So better alternatives are the cardboard or a glass container.
Okay.
Now these may be just a little bit more expensive, but what costs to your health.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now the average American has 125 pounds of sugar that we consume every year. We're always looking for alternatives.
Yes.
Thus artificial sweeteners, but these are toxic. They come in everything, the cans and yogurt and iced tea and pudding and gum, and we put them in our coffee, and they can be linked to cancer and brain tumors and all kinds of horrible things. Aspartame, especially look for that. It is toxic.
Okay.
Why doesn't the FDA take it away? I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Ask. Better alternatives, coconut crystals, great for baking. Agave syrup is natural, vitamins and minerals. Stevia comes from a plant, and honey. So try those instead of the toxic aspartame artificial flavors. Now leftovers. Yes. Well, never leave them out for 1 to 2 hours. Then put them in the refrigerator. Make sure that you label them. And if it's a vegetable or a fruit, they can stay in there for 2 to 3 days. If it's a meat, just about 2 days.
2 days, that's it.
That's it,
boy.
yeah. And if you freeze your leftovers, make sure that you defrost them in the refrigerator and not on your countertop. And never store them in the pan that they were cooked in,
Why is that?
even in the refrigerator, because the inside of the can is not good, of the baking dish is not good.
All right.
Oh, sponges and dish rags and dish brushes, they're a harbor for bacteria, yeast, and mold. Oh my is right. So wash your sponge as best as you can, then put it in the microwave for a minute.
I love that.
And your brush, you can put it in the dishwasher. That'll clean it. And this rag, I'd wash it after every time we use it, because we're cleaning countertops, we're cleaning cutting boards, and kitchen cupboards, and everything. Okay, cutting boards are a harbor for bacteria also. Plastic or wood, you say? Well, this is dishwasher safe. The wood is not. Best way to clean it, take some baking soda and spritz some white vinegar on it. It'll bubble all up. Spread it all around, and it will clean it, and then you wash it with your dish soap, or you can take hydrogen peroxide and clean it with it to the wood.
Okay.
And don't turn it over, because your kitchen counter may be dirty. And also, my recommendation is to have 2. One for fruits and vegetables and another for raw meat and meats.
Got it. Okay, and one last thing, cookie dough. We love it.
Cookie dough.
We love cookie dough.
We'd have to lick that. But it's got raw eggs in it. And a few years ago, 3 million packages were recalled because people were getting really sick from it. So cookie dough is meant to be baked.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Cindy. Some very good advice for cleaning up the kitchen. For more information, all you need to do, head to our website, lifeloveshopping.com.
Dang, that's too bad about the cookie dough. Well, pay attention. We're about to blow your mind with some clever new uses for old things. Real Simple magazine has hundreds of ideas, so here are our top 5. Use bowls to peel garlic. You put the cloves in a bowl, cover it with another bowl to form a sphere, and shake. The peels will flake right off. Or use your bundt cake pan to roast a crispy chicken. You layer potatoes, carrots, and onions on the bottom of the pan. Place the bird in the pan with a cavity over that center hole. Set the dish on a cookie sheet to collect the drippings and roast as usual. Also, your cast iron pan makes a cute recipe board. Just stick them on with a magnet and you're done. And perhaps my favorite one, use a dish towel to steam perfect rice. Once it's tender, remove the pan from the heat, place a folded towel over the saucepan and put the lid back on. Set it aside for 5 to 10 minutes. That towel will absorb the excess moisture for great rice with no mush. And you can also use cork as a heat protector. For a heat protector, slip a cork or 2 under the lid's handle and you'll always have something safe to grab onto.
Also, if you need a little extra top for your wine, save your Grey Goose vodka tops, the cork tops that come,
cork on it.
And you can pop those in your wine bottles. Not that I know or anything. We also need to maintain our homes to keep them running smoothly, and germs can hide in some of the most unlikely places. When is the last time you cleaned the underside of your living room rug? Yet the underside of rugs are full of germs. Remove dust and dirt by simply flipping it over and taking the vacuum cleaner to the underside. Your credit cards, they could give a lab petri dish a run for their money. Think of how many people handle your debit card. The germs lurk in the crevices of the numbers. Give them a quick cleaning with an alcohol wipe and let them dry. Your kitchen trash can is a super germ magnet. Clean your bin and the liner by spraying it with a bleach cleaner. Let it stand for 10 minutes, then rinse and wipe clean. Germs love your plants. Believe it or not, houseplants get dusty, so clean them with water and a soft cloth like an old t-shirt. Your purse, spot clean fabric bags with a gentle detergent and wipe out the inside. Always clean the underside if you've set it down on a restaurant floor or in the ladies' room. Never put your handbag on your kitchen table or your countertop. And your vacuum cleaner brushes and attachments must be disinfected. Check your manual for the how-to.
You know, French parents are also the keepers of the fridge. Kids don't have the right to just rummage for food whenever they want. They have to ask an adult. But for those of us who did not grow up in France and we want to change our eating habits, we have nutritional consultant Carol Cottrell here to help us out. Welcome.
Thank you.
I love your book. It's called The French Twist, and it's really important to distinguish the differences here and why it's so much better for us to eat like the French, right? I mean, what are the big differences between the two of us?
I think the 3 big differences are the French keep it simple, they keep it real food, and they keep the portions smaller. Where we might go for quantity, they go for quality.
Okay, and what do you mean by keep it real? Like, I know Americans tend to go for like the packaged, pre-processed food. Right. Is that what you mean?
That's what I mean.
Okay.
And the French use just simple ingredients that you can recognize.
Right, so they kind of come in their own packaging. I've heard Andrea say a couple times.
That's right.
Now, I love Pinterest, and I know a lot of people at home do too, and we can use Pinterest to help us. Tell us how.
It's really simple. You know, Pinterest is a great visual storyboard. So whatever your interest is, if it happens to be real food or exercise or French food, there's a Pinterest board out there. There are just, you know, millions of people pinning great recipes.
Yeah, and you have a couple boards yourself that we can
I'm addicted.
Use? Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's pretty bad. What would you say is the main ingredient that the French tend to go for? Is there any like one kind of secret thing we could try and incorporate more in our diets?
I think that the French embrace all food, and that's the difference. They're not into fads of any kind. Yeah. Real quality food they eat to the rhythm of their own taste.
I like that. Yeah. All right, well, speaking of eating, we've got a couple of things here, and you're going to show us how to make a French-style homemade salad dressing. Why is salad dressing, before we jump in?
Because, you know, this is a great example of our convenience factor, where we might just buy a bottled dressing. The French, it takes just a minute to make a great dressing. I actually tried this dressing in a restaurant in Belgium, and it tasted so good to me that I thought there must be a secret ingredient, but there wasn't. It was just these 3 simple ingredients. It's champagne vinegar.
Champagne vinegar.
Exactly. I keep mine in the refrigerator. I don't know why, it makes it taste better. Olive oil, a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Unless you're putting a cheese like Parmesan on your salad, then they might eliminate the salt because the Parmesan's already salty.
Got it.
And I thought we could make a simple
Let's get started.
Salad dressing, yeah, for a freshly dressed salad, and then one maybe that we want to beef up a little bit. Maybe if you had potatoes or chicken in it, we would add one other ingredient.
And I noticed you don't have a measuring cup.
So the rationale here is about 1/3 or 1 part vinegar to 2 parts olive oil.
Okay.
Now, here, you can do 2, and we'll show you the right way to do it. Michelle, you'll be doing it the right way because you're going to whisk in the olive oil, but I'm going to do it the quick American way.
All right.
And in a jar where we can shake it.
Okay.
So here we go. So about 2/3 olive oil.
And I've never used champagne vinegar before. I've always used balsamic.
Yeah, and it depends on what kind of salad you're making.
Okay.
If this is simple greens with, let's say, cucumber and tomatoes, this is a great dressing.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to put a little salt.
Now, I noticed your salt is pink. Is that the Himalayan?
No, I don't know. This is borrowed salt.
I don't know.
So we're just going to pretend it's white salt.
All right, I'll let it go.
It's coming out white. Okay, and so you can try it too. Now, did you see how simple that was?
It was very easy.
Okay, so if you really wanted to cop out, this is your homemade dressing.
But I like that you're shaking it up in a mason jar because then you can just keep that in the fridge.
Yeah, and then you're ready to go. So how long does that take? We can identify all of the ingredients.
Yeah, well, I can tell you it took 30 seconds because I got the producer in my ear counting me down.
There you go.
Thank you, Carol.
If you want it even a little more emollient.
This would be my style, for sure. Mix that up and you're good to go.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the help. You should check out her book, The French Twist, and we'll have more info on our website, lifeloveshopping.com.
Ooh la la. Stay with us, still more to come here on Life Love Shopping. Buying generic can save you money, but there are certain household items you should always splurge on. Find out what they are next. And we're showing you how to transform your formal living room into a space you and your entire family can actually use. That's coming up when we return. Welcome back to Life Love Shopping. We all depend on household products to maintain our space, and there's always a generic alternative available, but there are certain items you should always spend more on, like a steam iron. A cheap one can ruin your clothes. A quality iron starts around $75 and features fast heating and an anti-drip seal. Splurge on a vacuum cleaner. Plan to spend $200 to $400. Consumer Reports says a full-size canister vacuum can last an additional 2 years, and spend money on a coffee maker. I'm telling ya, a good machine can produce better tasting coffee and will save you from spending your $4 a day on a latte. High-end brewers, including an espresso option, start at around $150.
Well, you know, most of us spend time in just 3 rooms of our house, so Rachel K is showing us how to add a 4th and expand your living space.
A new year brings new beginnings and, of course, new designs into your home. And here to help us with that is Mark Thie, the founder of the #1 residential design firm, Mark Michaels. Welcome.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
We love having you. You have such great advice. Now, we're going to talk about spaces that people don't live in or use, like where we are in the parlor or a traditional living room. Tell me about the space.
I'm so passionate about for 2013 to make sure people live in every inch of their homes. And we really wanted to showcase how you can make it all it can be.
Yes, the before pictures are very, very different.
Aren't they?
And you started definitely with a rug. Tell me about the rug you put in here.
You know, in one long, narrow space, I think a lot of people would be tempted to maybe create a little bit of a area rug over there and maybe an area rug over here. I am a firm believer in one large rug, really unifying a space and creating one large loungy space.
Oh, now we have to talk about this gorgeous fireplace because the before picture is very different, very traditional mantle.
It had the uglies. It had the uglies big time.
The uglies.
And you know, it's so interesting because so many people think the fireplace is the focal point.
Right, everyone thinks that's where you would have to put the chairs and focus on that.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that here.
We didn't, you know what? But it just adds strength and weight to the space.
And the fancy chairs we're sitting in, you are sitting in a very cool chair. What's the history on that?
I am sitting in the owner's grandfather's chair. So it was something he really wanted to incorporate. And look how great it looks with just a mix-max chair.
Now we have to talk about the other space in here with the big couches, which would have been, that's where the piano was before.
Yeah.
And now you've put a great living space in there and a TV.
And, you know, that's a big deal to make a room usable in 2013. So I say get the piano out of the window, pull it back in the space.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, where there's a TV, it's gonna get more living.
Yes.
I mean, come on, face it, we're a very TV-driven world.
We are.
And so I believe living spaces, bedroom spaces, sitting room spaces, you know, subtly place a TV. Don't hide it. Be proud.
Be proud. And they're so flat and fancy now, right?
They're actually good-looking electronics.
They are. Now, we have to talk about the architecture. In what would be the traditional dining space that you've changed up a little?
So we created this little bit of a frieze wall detail just to create some interest, you know, kind of tuck the dining room into and give it a little sense of space of its own. And then there was this awkward window.
Yes, because I love the draperies that you've put up.
Yeah, I thought this affordable sheer, just kind of hung simply from the ceiling, would really give the dining room its own sense of space.
It does, but yet it doesn't, yet the room still looks very cohesive.
It's all designed to kind of blend and flow together. That table, I would love to have. It's such a find, and it's just gonna get better and better and better with more dings and more use. And
putting a bench.
Putting that bench is what drove it home. It added that softness, it added that pop of color, and it kind of brought it up to date.
Let's enjoy this fire.
Yes.
And enjoy this space. Thank you so much, Mark.
Oh, the pleasure's mine.
So talented. If you want to learn more about Mark, we will link you up to his website on lifeloveshopping.com.
Still more to come on Life Loves Shopping. Do you have a four-legged furry child at home?
We'll find out how to get your pet fit and healthy, all while saving time and money.
You may have made some resolutions for yourself this year, but what about for your pet? From Fido's Growing Waistline to Stinky Breath, we have Curtis Steinhoff with VPI Pet Insurance and vet tech Julianne Evenhaus here to help us out. We also have one Mr. Blue down below here who's getting a little bit comfy. I got to start with you guys. Tell us about checking for obesity. That's one big thing with pets. How do we check for obesity?
Visually.
Okay.
First, look at your pet, and if you can see our lovely friend laying down here. First thing you want to do is look at just the line. You want to look for a nice hourglass.
Okay.
You also want to feel along the ribs and just gently running your hands down the side, be able to feel their ribs in general. If you have to push, it might be an indication that you've got a little extra weight on there.
Okay.
When they're standing up.
Can you stand up for me, buddy? Come on.
Come on, handsome.
There we go. I'll just walk around here.
There we go. When you're looking at him standing up, you want to look for a tuck right here. So as he's standing, you want to look for a nice little tuck up in the groin area. So if there's a little bit of a pot belly, that can also be an indication that some additional exercise might be necessary. But this guy's looking wonderful.
You got good abs, buddy. Rock on. Okay, Curtis, when it comes to food, what should we do to cut weight down, especially if we're going to put Fido on a diet?
Well, the easiest thing you can do is get a weight control food. So just ask your veterinarian which brand she recommends. But we have a couple of other tips for you. Instead of giving your pet biscuits and other high-calorie treats, you can switch them to something like a carrot. I actually changed my dog's treats to carrots, and they get really excited because I think when I open the fridge, they think they're getting the same treats as their dad is getting, and I should probably eat a few more carrots as well.
Shouldn't we all?
Yes,
really?
yes. But the best tip we can give you is if you've cut your pet down on the amount of food and treats that you're giving, they're probably hungry. So what you can simply do is add green beans to their food.
That is a terrific
And it's
idea.
actually a 0-calorie add because it actually takes more calories to digest the beans than they get from the beans. So it'll fill them up, but it won't add calories to their diet.
And also the moisture in there kind of helps with dry food too, right?
If you feed your pet dry food, they'll like the moisture. It also adds some minerals and other nutrients, so it's good.
Okay, now when it comes to their teeth, I know some people like to brush teeth, some people don't. What do you recommend, Julianne?
Do recommend trying to brush.
Okay.
And the first step is getting your dog used to having its mouth handled.
Okay.
So don't just go at him with a toothbrush. Give him the opportunity to get used to having his mouth handled. So gentle touching, gentle rubbing, get him used to lifting the lip and getting your finger in there. So he's being very good. Hello, my darling. So just gentle rubbing, getting them used to having this contact, and then you can lift the lip. You're doing so good.
Excellent work,
and gentle
buddy.
massaging along the gum.
Okay.
So do a couple days of that desensitization and then introduce them to a pet toothpaste.
Okay. And you recommend it should be specific for dogs,
yes,
not human.
Specific for dog and cat, because human toothpaste can have additional additives like artificial sweeteners that can be toxic to your pets. So you definitely want to go with a pet toothpaste.
Okay.
And doing the preventive stuff can actually save you hundreds and even thousands of dollars.
Really?
We analyzed the claims of about 500,000 VPI pets, and we found that to prevent tooth decay and periodontal disease is about $175 to prevent, for the prevention, whereas the average claim for treatment of that was over $500.
Wow.
So it's better for your pet, it's better for your pocketbook, it's better for everybody.
Yeah, when you said $500, I think you got everybody's attention in here. Now, what about toys and chew toys specifically? I understand chew bones are good for their teeth as well to keep them clean.
Yes, keep them active at friction and pressure to get that tartar to break down. The additional dental treats, things like greenies or dental enzymatic chews, they have additives that will help break down that tartar further. And they love to chew. They do,
yes. And it seems like if there's a little stir crazy in the house, they either need to be walked or they need a chew toy, right?
All put the mind and the
chew
body.
on something that's good for their teeth.
Well, Curtis and Julianne, thank you so much. For more information on keeping your pet healthy, all you need to do, head to our website, lifeloveshopping.com.
Well, that's it for Life Love Shopping. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.